Hey, I was working with Chris. It was kind of funny because we discovered I had a buyer's agent talking to me in the Eastlake office, and Chris had the seller's agent talking to him in the Kent office, and it's an order we've got in Windermere Unrecorded.
Oh yes.
And I just kind of just from just I don't know years of title being in title, just like the whole idea of an unrecorded plat is kind of cool. I mean it's because one of the issues is that it's an old plat, and or an old unplat.
Yeah.
And because there was no formal plat ever recorded on it, everything's just been passed. Every time something's done within the plat, everybody needs to sign off on it. And there's all these old documents that are now unreadable because they've been Xeroxed since the 20s. And then digitized, and most of them are unreadable. But I just thought it was really interesting because most plats are really clean. Everything's right up front, and we just get these nice clean copies all the time. And then you get to this unrecorded thing, and you don't know if it's really affecting your property or not because they're just recording everything and everybody's signing off on it.
Right, but it was critical on that unrecorded plat. The Windermere Unrecorded is that you could not make any improvements until they reviewed the first deed out on that lot.
Okay.
That was the critical thing because it defined setbacks and how far you had to be set back and everything. And so they would not approve any improvements at the subdivision unless they had that first deed out to review. And so fortunately we were able to get a copy from the King County Archives, good clear crisp copy, so they take them in and say, okay, here's what we have. Are we permitted to do the following? And so yeah, and here again, and these documents were, as you said, they're 1920s and 30s, very bad copies that we had. But if they hadn't taken the time to raise the issue and ask for clean copies, it was on the report. If they would have bought it and then went to do something and the association said, no, sorry, you can't because of this right here, it would have been, it was listed on their title report as an exception. They couldn't come back at that point in time saying, well, you didn't give me a clear copy. How was I to know?
Right.
So that was important. Right there, the agents got involved. We're very active, going, well, we need copies. Nobody can read these. And without them raising the issue, again, we wouldn't have looked at it. But they called, got things moving, and we ended up getting them first deed out, copies of the restrictions, so that everybody had good, clear copies, and that transaction moved forward. But it was right on the cusp of not being able to get good, clear copies. We had to go to the King County Archives. And again, that shows
and they actually had clean copies?
And they had clean copies.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But it shows you the importance of reading that title report. Even a document from the 1920s could impact what you were going to do in 2010.
Right.
And they would have stood behind that document at the association and said, that's what they were based on. Yes, you can. No, you can't. Based on that document from the 1920s.
Yeah, because I think it was in the late 90s or something, they filed a document that just kind of reaffirmed
everything that happened.
Everything up till that time, and said this is going to carry through until 2015 or 2025 or something, and then I don't know. They're going to have a big meeting.
And that document was, and then one in the 90s was a good clean copy. It's just that whatever was reaffirming, nobody could read.
Right.
Well, really? we're reaffirming the black dots.
Yeah. The strings. So that's Windermere up north then?
Windermere,
North Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a great subdivision.
It's
unrecorded subdivision.
Yeah.
It's great. Here again, though, I think they're fortunate in the price point on it. It's very high. I think probably there might have been not only very good agents involved, but also an attorney probably looking and said, we got to take a look at this.
Yeah.
Here again.
Well, I was impressed at the quality of the conversation I was having with the buyer's agent. It was very articulate, and she wasn't going to leave any stone unturned. And I was, it was really cool. I mean, she had a wonderful attitude about it. She was, she's just doing her homework, and I was impressed that she was taking that much time to do her homework.
And it was, and clearly, that dialogue and that interaction, if it doesn't occur at that point, the thing goes all the way through.
Right.
Yeah. People making assumptions of
assumptions. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, a document at least 90 years old, impacting what you can do 90 years later. I mean, that's how important that stuff is. And if you don't understand or don't look, you're going in totally blind.
Yeah, and you're going to get blindsided.